Back with Ultimate Admiral Dreadnoughts, the just recently started 1930 Britain campaign, which is the almost all light cruiser plus two Nelson-like battleships. First things first, want to throw out some apologies for the rather abrupt ending of the last episode, somewhat in mid-battle. Got a phone call and wound up being away from the computer far longer than I expected, and I just cut it off there, lopped off the, about an hour of paused footage, and much later I just disengaged. Nothing else happened in that battle. And so basically the outcome of that second battle was we sank the merchants and the two destroyers as seen in the episode, and then nothing happened after that. The heavy cruiser got away. And as I mentioned toward the end of what was shown of that battle, we've now seen both the German cruiser classes and their destroyer. The destroyer is not too much of a concern. It does have a pretty robust set of torpedo launchers, but reduced ammo, so it's a one-shot ship. And then we saw in the earlier 1 versus 1 cruiser duel that our light cruiser stacks up quite well against the German light cruisers. The heavy cruisers are a little bit of a tougher nut because kind of the concept of the light cruiser I built was volume of fire, auto loading, 6-inch triple mounts. And my idea against a heavy cruiser was to just throw out tons and tons of HE real fast. However, gotta get in some, not like scraping paint, but gotta get in fairly close to kind of make that concept work. And the German heavy cruisers, as we saw in the last campaign, the 1941, they've got a lot of torpedoes with lots of reloads of torpedoes. So it's not just a case of, okay, dodge your torpedoes, I'm coming in. You have to keep dodging torpedoes for a long time. And then their electric propulsion, which means they're pretty sneaky, and I was kind of surprised at how close they got before we could spot them. Only about not quite 1.5 kilometers out. So that could give us some issues over the course of the campaign, but I think we'll do all right. I mean, we've got 60 light cruisers. I don't want to be cavalier about it as the First Lord of the Admiralty, or the First Sea Lord, take your pick. But if we lose a few light cruisers along the way, well, there's a lot more where those came from. 60 right now, 12 building, so we're looking at 72 and can build a lot more. One other thing I do want to do, though, is meanwhile, we've got these two battleships who have a role in maybe knocking down their capital ships in perhaps 1v1 dual battles or what have you. And I'm going to go ahead and put them in sea control now. A lot of times I kind of like to wait until they're like maybe trained up to regular. They're just cadet. But the Germans are too. Everyone starts at cadet at the beginning, right? So yeah, they'll go in with the green cadet or the green cruise, but they'll be meeting German battleships with cadet or green cruise here in the early going. So it's a level playing field. And with that, let's see what happens in March 1930, which will be the third month of this naval war. Okay. Convoy battle. Very, very close. Basically right at the mouth of the, I think this is the Elbe River that flows through here past Hamburg. Yep. It's actually the same three. I think it's the same three, or close. All three of these have already fought a battle in the last month. Took light damage, repaired, and they're right back out there. 60 light cruisers to choose from, and the battle generator chooses 3 of the 4 who fought last time. And actually a pretty similar defense. We got a heavy this time and a light and 2 destroyers. And the battle over here kind of out in the North Sea is another, and that was the 4th one. The 4 ships fighting this turn are the same exact 4 ships who fought last turn. Okay. So actually it's going to be pretty similar. Let's go ahead and do this cruiser duel. Undaunted taking on the Elbing. What's our range at? Okay. Elbing has got pretty respectable torpedo capacity herself, but they're not electric. They're standard propulsion, so they're a little bit longer range than the electric. And I think probably a little faster too, but they're spottable much further out. Oh my gosh. I didn't see the warning on that one. Almost identified. That's a little irritating. And we've only taken 3 hits, but one of them completely knocked out our aft tower. Accuracy's suffering a bit right now because she's still in smoke. It'll improve a little bit once it dissipates. Oh, well, Elbing's aft tower is knocked out as well. Yep, she's fired torpedoes again. Well, they would be aimed out here ahead of us to intersect, so we'll just flip around here. Yep, there they went. I misspoke earlier before the battle. I said that the German destroyer had reduced ammo. It does not. It's the German light cruiser that has reduced torpedo ammo. And we see that right here. Her main deck torpedo launchers, which are triple mounts, are already out of torpedoes. She's still got a couple torps loaded in underwater tubes. Going to go ahead and close her, start upping our accuracy. She just fired one of those underwater tubes. You can slow to cruise speed. Oops. It's got one torp left. It's got no torps left. Not a great angle, but I'll go ahead and never mind. A little over 700 victory points. Nice job, Undaunted. I'd say the German light cruisers are the least of our worries among their various types. Now for this convoy attack, just at the mouth of the Elbe. Blanche, Cassandra, and Phaeton. Maybe Phaeton. Kind of like the last convoy battles. Turns out that the German warships are, the convoy escorts are closer than what they typically have been. I think that could be part of the spawn adjustments that they did in the last patch. These are probably their destroyers here. Or maybe that's the light cruiser and these two are the destroyers in the smoke screen. So this would be the heavy cruiser here. Torpedoes have probably already been launched. I'm just going to turn now. We'll loop around. Yep. There's a spread over here. Slow this down a little bit though. There could be more coming. Could easily be more coming. Okay. Destroyer here. Destroyer here. And the Falk behind them. Only V3 is fired, I think. Falk fired something, but it was just an underwater tube. The heavy cruiser has not yet been identified. Okay, Falk just fired a spread of probably 6 torpedoes. B9 has just fired again. Okay, well, multiple spreads coming. I'm going to go ahead and put the division in torpedo avoidance. Just going to do a preemptive turn again. Phaeton and Cassandra apparently spot torpedoes somewhere. I didn't see them. Hope I'm not turning right into them. No, let's take this destroyer out. Keep firing on V9. I'm more scared of the destroyer's electric torpedoes than I am of Falk's relatively low stock of standard ones. That's Limburg. Well. Oh, the anti-collision is taking over. Well, okay. I think the torpedoes that were in the water there have probably passed. Going to take the division out of torpedo avoidance. Fall back into line. Pretty good weather conditions. Ow. That was a 9-inch round from Limburg. Let's go ahead and smoke up. V3 has just fired another couple of torpedoes. torpedoes here. Didn't go see where the heck are those things are aimed. Okay, that's a single torpedo. I think one of the destroyers has fired another spread. Even if fired at Blanche, they're going to be coming this way. Cassandra and Phaeton in the way. I'm going to go ahead and go torpedo avoidance again. And that torpedo was about, shoot, didn't even see that one until it was past an opening. Yeah, we're seeing them at about a kilometer and a half. Oh, okay. I heard that. I thought somebody got popped with a fish. Nah, it's just blue on blue collision. Okay, V9's just about done here. Hopefully, before that deck launcher reloads. Falk is out of fish. Limburg too far away. Hasn't fired any. I think I can take our guys out of torpedo avoidance for the moment, so they can regain some sense of order here. I mean, obviously all that hard turning cuts way down on both their rate of fire and their accuracy. Phaeton and Cassandra, that is. And here we go. Yeah. Destroyer gets heavily damaged, almost done, but just keeps hanging on forever. Just fired again. Probably at Blanche. Okay, V9 is done. Still need to turn. She already had fish in the water. Let's dispose of Falcon. What's the distance to... ...11 kilometers away. Right at the ragged edge of Limburg's torpedo release. 12.9 for them. They're at 12.1. Haven't fired yet. But she might, since we're closing. V3 has the same type of torpedo and the same torpedo range. I can't. There she is. Okay, Falk is done. Let's open the distance from Limburg for now. Looks like V3 has got one shot left. Although fully loaded. V3 is just engaging and disengaging entirely. And slightly faster than us. Okay. Well, let's just go sink the transports. That's what we came here to do. It's what they came here to prevent. V3 not changing her mind. V3 is still disengaging. Limburg is not. V3 no longer spotted, still on radar, not over here. Still plenty of ammo. Pretty happy with the decision to go with increased ammo allowance. Okay. Kind of in the same situation as the last convoy battle. Transports disposed of. Smaller escorts taken out. And now 3 light cruisers against the German heavy. Who is faster? Even at top speed, our top speed, it'd be faster. A little more so now since Blanche has taken some damage. Kind of surprised he hasn't started. Well, he's down to. It's still over 500 rounds, but he's in yellow, so he may be in save mode. I think he must have increased ammo as well. He does. For guns. Standard for torpedoes. Distance slowly closing. He is running away. At 33.9 knots. I'm not sure this is going to close anymore. I'm wondering if I should detach Blanche and then put her in follow and let Phaeton lead the charge since the other two cruisers are undamaged and can go a little bit faster. I think I'm going to do that. If he was truly trying to disengage and just put his stern toward us, would not be able to catch him. But Limburg is not quite doing that. They're kind of sailing from left to right, diagonally across our bow, and that's why, despite we're slower, we are very slowly closing the range. Haven't done much yet, but starting to do a little bit of damage. He's lost almost a knot. He's only a tenth of a knot faster than Phaeton and Cassandra now. And Blanche is slower, but in kind of this continually, gradually moving to starboard, Blanche is kind of on the inside track. Didn't really realize we'd gotten that far apart. Limburg's lost almost another half knot. Got a few fires going. Did a good bit of damage to Blanche earlier when our cruisers were focused on other targets. Now we've kind of caught up on her. She's now past the point where she's taken more damage than she has dealt to us. And is still not firing back. Cassandra not quite in range yet. It's down to 31.9, now slower than the two-ship division. Just got to keep an eye on the torpedo situation. What is Limburg's armor anyway? I guess that's about maybe average. Well, a little bit on the light side of average, but not overly so for a heavy cruiser. It's really not much more than what we've got. 6.5, about 2.5 on the fore and aft belt in the main deck ish, and I think we're in that kind of ballpark. 5.9 main belt, stronger fore and aft belts, comparable main deck. We're a little bit lighter, but not much on the main deck. HE is still the way to go either way, though. from this distance and this angle. Has he fired? No. He doesn't. Limburg doesn't have a very good angle for a torpedo shot. They're probably within the firing arc, but it would be pretty easy to avoid. I can understand why Limburg has not fired any torpedoes yet. I would expect he would maneuver before doing so. I don't really understand why he's not firing 9-inch at 10 kilometers. And he was firing and hitting Blanche much farther than that earlier in this battle. I think it's just, I said it before, it's just my best guess is AI goes to save mode when they get to whatever percentage they go yellow at in ammo. Speaking of which, Blanche is not far from that herself. But because of all their earlier maneuvering, Phaeton and Cassandra, because she's latest to open fire, have a lot more. Down to 78. Lost another few tenths of a knot. And we're wearing her down and slowing her down. Then obviously the closer we get, as the distance closes, a lot more of these rounds are going to start hitting, and the pace of the damage will accelerate. Of course, I need to pay attention to make sure Phaeton and Cassandra are still actually chasing her. That may have taken, Cassandra, that took Cassandra back out of range. It's a mistake. No fires going at the moment in Limburg. I really ought to pay more attention. This is really the main force here, instead of staying focused on the original flagship. And Phaeton's below 1,000 now too. Oh, goodness, she did fire. Missed that. And is she going to be able to... She doesn't need much of a turn. Be able to come through that? Doesn't take much. A little bit more than that. Not so much you swing your stern into it. Okay, I think we're fine. Think I can speed back up. Oh, well, I hadn't noticed that. Cassandra's back in range, firing again. Blanche is just about Winchester. Yeah, I don't think we're going to get this ship sunk before time runs out. It's just a question of doing a little bit more damage for a few more victory points. And hopefully make sure she tips from light to medium damage for sure, and therefore take longer to repair. Cost the Germans more money. She may pop out another spread here in a moment, as soon as these deck triple launchers are reloaded. She's taken enough losses that 0% crew efficiency on torpedoes. Which, as we're seeing, she fired immediately. Well, she fired at Blanche last time, so they're going to be coming right down this way. Actually, Blanche doesn't... I mean, she's out of gun ammo. How about you just follow? Okay, that's the end of the battle. All right, light cruiser sunk, destroyer sunk, destroyer damaged, hopefully medium, and Limburg damaged, probably medium. Light damage on Blanche, and I don't think Phaeton or Cassandra ever even got shot at. 1,700 victory points. Oh, and of course, 6 sunken transports, which was the whole idea. Came up to the German coast at the mouth of Elbe, attacked a convoy. Convoy is wrecked. Their escorts did not do such a hot job. I got 98 VP for the transports, and there were 6 of them, so that's over 15 victory points apiece. And that seems to vary. Sometimes you get like 8 or 9 for a transport, and this time 16. That may be just because of the amount of damage taken. Anyway, successful battle. And a pretty long one, so that'll be the end of this episode. And next episode, we'll just press on and see what happens in April. Maybe we get to see those somewhat Nelson-like battleships in action. Until then, thanks for watching.